Hi everybody, Wayne Lambert here. So today's video is related to answering one question. Now that question has been asked by a number of business owners, a number of workplace wellbeing coaches, or employees that actually would like to help their workplaces become thriving, engaged environments. So that question is quite simply, do workplace programs work? Well, our answer to that is a yes and a no. Yes, because at the end of the day, you're taking people and helping them improve their lifestyle behaviours. No, based on our research, not just researching our own programs, but researching the research. And what that means is we've found that researching workplace wellness programs which scrapes the surface, it looks like it's doing something, and really that goes against how we work and how we do things. Because what that does is, or those type of programs, what they do is they create a bias. And if you're doing any research, you're looking for the bias, you're looking at the limitations. And the limitations of a lot of the workplace wellness programs that we've researched is that the bias is quite simply the fact that because they're voluntary, you're really only going to get people interested in them that are already doing something. So if we look at, the studies that we found to answer that particular question, by way of a story, for example, if you've got a high obesity level in that particular region, then what's the reason for that? And a lot of the time it's based on the culture itself. In many senses, in one particular country or one particular region, it was an advantageous position to be in if you were overweight, because it made you look like you had a lot of wealth. Your family was classed as wealthy. The bigger you were, now, that was hard for us to understand, but ultimately you have to respect the culture people live in. Their social wellness, if you look at the strands of wellness, social wellness is a critical aspect of the whole wellness model. And in particular countries, particular regions, it's cultural for them to be socially interactive, more so than any other cultures or regions. And so that leads to inactivity in many senses, because they're not interactive in an active way, i.e., they're socially eating together and a lot, and they're socially, it was natural for them to be smokers as well, to socially interact in that unhealthy manner, but to them it's normal. And that, breaking down those barriers by giving them trickle feeding knowledge and education, you get there in the end. But sometimes if it's culturally, hard, sometimes it's hard not to crack. So looking at the other aspects of wellness, the emotional side of wellness and the psychological side of wellness, sometimes the cultural aspects are really hard to penetrate through, but at the same time you're not battling against them, you're working with them. So answering that question about do wellness programs work, they do. As I mentioned previously, our way of doing things is by working on the stages of change of each and every individual, because everybody's different. If you look at big companies that work in weight loss, for example, and in ways of getting people slim, then we don't focus on the people that are already going there, because they're already in preparation mode. They're already in many ways the maintenance mode of the stages of change model. We want to get the people that are in pre-contemplation mode. That's a far bigger number and far bigger results that we can get, and it helps with sustainability, working on breaking down the barriers of those people. So if you're a business owner looking at getting into starting a program, or if you've had a program and it's not really worked, look at that. That's what our advice would be, because programs can work if you focus on the correct areas and working way beyond baseline and looking at how best you can prepare, because preparing for a program is the most important aspect. So getting people to accept responsibility for their health, accountability is so important. For example, we've done a lot of work with the military, the government, and to put something in policy. When someone is from interview stage all the way through their career with that particular company, they're accountable for their health, to maintain that health. So when you get someone into your company, if you start to sell health and well-being as being a major importance, people then become interactive with it and engage with that, and they're actually, in many ways, for a lot of people, they're happy that you're going to support them, and we're talking about people that struggle with health as well. So getting those people over the barriers, which is, as I've mentioned previously, that's how we can help the majority of people, because chronic disease, chronic illness is on the up and it's getting out of control. So if somebody is not on the start line, they're before the start line contemplating doing something about the health, we don't want to wait before it's too late, which is when a lot of people do something about their health, when it's too late, when they're getting them alarm bells and they're having problems with their health. In many cases it's too late. So preventative measures are important, and we do a lot of research on and studies and programs for helping people with chronic health, but preventing it before they get to that stage, because the aging population is getting bigger and bigger, which is a problem for a lot of business owners, even if you're not working on or helping them with health insurance policies. But absenteeism, getting them rates down, and we've got a lot of success with musculoskeletal disabilities and helping people with those, because a lot of it, believe it or not, is related to inactivity and not being accountable for being functional and moving more than they should, and obviously the nutrition side of it as well. So as a call to action, if you're a business owner or you're a workplace well-being coach, or someone who's aspiring to be or to help your company, then get in touch with us and ask any questions, and we will answer them on future videos. Many thanks for your time, for listening. Take care.